Occasionally, I do something called the 5-star shout out. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in you can't make a you know what I'm talking about.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children all over the world. We up in this joint, baby. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Chocolate girl.
Hey, I'm here, baby. How are you? You ain't say my name right. Let's rewind that.
Oh, let's rewind. Come on, let's go rewind the back. Chocolate girl. How you doing, baby?
Hi, I'm good. Welcome to the Side Jawn. Saturday, my favorite day of the week.
That's
ready
right.
to go. We got a good one for you, so I'm ready to go.
Yes, as we do each and every Saturday morning. Sharon, you know something? You know this Saturday morning is special. Today is 420. You know, I'm gonna get into what 420. What I found through a link that they say 420 means.
Uh-huh.
That's what I found through a link.
You don't know nothing about it, right?
I used to be a reefer smoker back in my day. I don't smoke reefer now because the first thing it's gonna do for me is put me to sleep. So it ain't gonna be a fun recreational thing because I'm going to sleep afterwards.
See?
So there's no need for me to go somewhere and smoke reefer. Then you think we going out? No. I'm gonna sit right here in this car. Y'all go ahead and have a good time. Yeah. But anyway, how was your week, Chocolate Girl?
My week was it was a good week. It ended very well, and it's been a good week. I'm well rested. I'm feeling better. Got a roof over my head, and guess what? You know those people that live upstairs from me. I told you keep up so much racket, I can't sleep half the time.
Yeah, they moved out now.
They're moving out. I found out yesterday they're gonna move to Texas. I'm like, get on. I cannot wait till they get out. I cannot.
What part of Texas?
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, you said before they leave, ask them, because if you tell me they're going to Houston,
I'm
Texas,
not talking to them. I have nothing to say.
Why not? They on their way out. Ain't like you got to have a full conversation. They out.
See, then they don't need to know that I know that they're moving to Texas. See, I was told this.
Oh, I thought you knew. Like,
they didn't tell me. I don't have any conversations with them. I just want them to get the hell out. So, yay! That literally made me smile the rest of the day. I was so happy to hear that.
Okay, all right.
They keep me up at night. That don't make any sense.
Well, they're young. You know, when you're young. See, when you're young, you have sex all the time.
It's not just that. You can. I have nothing against people doing it like rabbits every single day, 3-4 times a day. I have nothing against that. But when you know you living in an apartment, have some sense enough. If you got some squeaky springs, to put some WD-40 on them, one, like the box spring, and two, keep your headboard off the doggone wall. So I don't have to hear all that. And their bed is on the same wall that my bed is on. And I'm trying to sleep and the walls are thin. Come on now. This is an old building. You can't do that. You got to have some common sense, Dennis. Come on now. You got to have some common sense. Common sense.
All right. Well, besides that, how was the rest of your week?
It's been great. I've had a good week. How about you?
My week has been good. My week has been good. Been a good week. I've enjoyed myself. Yesterday I went out to Rec Philly. They had a Creators Day yesterday, so I went out to Rec Philly. Took some pictures, got some shots in because I know Chocolate Girl always be talking like you don't ever take no pictures with you looking at the camera. You know, all your pictures be to the side with your glasses on, and you got your hat on. I said, all right, let me take all this stuff off, take some pictures. Since it was free, I took as many as I could. You know, you got to get it in when it's free.
And they look
They lucky.
good.
They lucky I ain't go home and go get my blazer and you know my shirt, tie, and everything. Cause I don't want to got blazer, shirt, tie. Came back, took more pictures.
No, you had on the right thing. You got the Side Jawn sweats hoodie on, got that big
Yeah,
logo on the front. Side Jawn.
yeah.
Oh no. I know that was a hit. I know somebody asked you about that the whole time you were there.
Always. There's always a hit.
Oh yeah, because
Always
I
a
mean
hit.
it's got the word John in it. John?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in there. That's
always
a
a hit. That's
word,
a
y'all.
hit,
It's
and
a
then
good word.
that's that's a hit, and then on the back of my hoodie it says the Ignorant Thinker Podcast.
Thing
That's
podcast, right?
another hit. Yeah. So they always get stuff. Even like when I comment on people's stuff and they say ignorant thinker, they be like, "Who is that? The ignorant, ignorant, ignorant."
What is
It's
that?
like, yeah, that's not even. So I got one lady. Her name is Stay Hall. I'm gonna try to get on the
Wow.
show. I met her through Elise. Shout out to Elise. Good morning. I got one lady. She always messes the name up. So I told her, I said, just call me ITP. That's what I told her. Just call me ITP. That's all. ITP. She was like, yeah, that's a lot easier. Because I get confused by your name all the time.
Yeah, and it says Talker is Tuesday down in the pocket on the
In the
front of the
pocket.
hoodie, right?
Chalky is Tuesday on the pocket. That's right.
So you got all of it. You just got this a
Um,
walking brand.
always.
That's right. Do your thing,
Always.
though.
Now,
Do your thing. That's
yeah,
how you
had a
should
good
do
time
it.
there, man. I was really looking for some like my goal there was to look for some videographers. Like I just wanted to, rub elbows with a couple videographers. That was my goal. Wanted to rub elbows with a couple of those guys, see what's going on, see how they working, what they do for, work, what they
Mm-hmm.
really charging out there. That was my goal. Met a couple guys though, that was pretty good. Met a couple other people too though. A couple poets was there. It was a couple cooks was there. And it was surprising to me how many different types of people was in the building.
What is Rec Philly for those of us that don't live there?
Rec Philly is a place for creators. So it's a bunch of studios in Rec Philly. And I thought
Oh,
it was just strictly for podcasters or entertainers. But it ain't. It's for all types of creators. So if you're anything in a creator's lane, Rec Philly is a place you would like to go to, get into a better creative space. 'Cause a lot of people can't get as creative as they want to at home. So you could go and rent uh, time at Rec Philly for you to get into a creator's place.
that sounds like a
I
good.
thought they had a
I need
rec
to start that
everywhere,
here.
but I'm not sure.
I need to start that here. I've never heard of that here.
Well,
And
it's ran by iHeart. It's ran by iHeart Radio. It might be a rec Durham. Don't
I'm
be
gonna look it up.
surprised. Don't be
I'm
surprised.
gonna look
They
it up because if not, I may have to talk to my investors and start
yeah,
one and start one. Mm.
it's definitely a good idea. They got a lot of space there. The place that they're located at is bad in parking. That's the only thing.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
no free parking. That's the only thing.
And did you have to walk forever like you had to at the thing
No, I mean, I want that.
at the what's it, the WWE? You said you had to walk all day.
Yeah, that's how that's how the stadiums is built. All the
Mm-hmm.
stadiums in Philadelphia are built for you to be walking. You're gonna be walking. So if you ain't get your steps in, you're gonna get your steps in.
You get them
More
there,
than
huh?
say, oh yeah, you gonna get your steps in. You thought you didn't get your steps. Oh, you gonna get your steps
You gonna get them in. Oh, you gonna
in.
learn today.
You gonna get them
Hmm.
in. You thought you was gonna dodge steps. No, you ain't dodging no more steps. You gonna get them
It's in there.
in. Yeah.
It's in there.
All right. So, well, with that being said, yeah, like I said, I had a good week. I had a really good week. I enjoyed myself this week. I'm going to enjoy myself more next week too. But I enjoyed myself this week. Tell you that. Now, let's get into this. We got the show called More Money, and as y'all know, more money, more problems. That's how the thing goes. It ain't no different. It's always like that. But today, Sharon had a good idea to talk about people who have hit the lotto and hit it big. That was your idea. People who have hit the lotto and have hit it big. How do you
Mhm.
feel when you hear these stories about people who hit the lotto?
Who me? I feel like why isn't it me? Shoot. That's what I feel. Because I mean the issue is they get all this money and they end up broke. Why? That's my thing. That's my thing. They end up broke. Some of them dead, miserable, drugged out, thugged out. It's just
Nigga?
they end up in worse shape than they were in before they won. So
Right.
I thought it'd be a good idea for us to look at that, tell the people, share some of those with people, and then talk about what we would do if we won money like that.
Right.
So, but first of all, y'all, in the comments, thank y'all for watching this morning. We see you, June. We see you, Josh, and we see you, Elise. We see you. Who else is in here?
BJ
BJ.
in the building.
You BJ in the building. We see you. So to start with, hey y'all, this is my question. If you hit the lottery for $100 million, what are the first few things you would do? Just think about it. Put it in the comments. While Dennis reads about talks to y'all about this first one.
Oh, I didn't know how to read. So hold up.
Yeah, it's in the thing.
I ain't even hold up. Should have warned me.
I'm sorry. Get the sugar
Uh,
daddy out your eye. How about that?
yeah. Laura, we're talking about this married couple, Laura and Roger Griffins. Or was it Griffin?
Griffiths.
Is it Griff? Is the
Griffiths.
Griffiths?
Griffiths. Griffiths, as in
The
Andy Griffith.
Griffiths.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Griffiths. All right. Marriage ended in divorce less than a decade after the British couple won $2.19 million jackpot. Roger chased his rock star dreams and spent his big bucks for his band and released an album. Laura got a taste for the high life as the couple paid for exotic cars and expensive houses, designer clothes and accessories, and a pricey private school for their daughter. They dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into opening a salon where Laura later worked as an employee to make ends meet. In the end, the couple was left with less than $10. What in the hell?
Yes. Yes. $10. How you go from 2.19 to $10?
It was 2 million, which is not really a whole lot of money to be doing all that. What do you think about this, Sharon? Dang.
I think these were people um that had no idea how to manage money from the beginning. They probably weren't managing it correctly before they won. Then they got the money poured in and it just tripled it or quadrupled it. They probably couldn't manage 50,000, let alone 2.19 million. You see what I'm saying? And usually if you have bad habits and not managing your money properly when you barely have any, you're not going to do better when you get more without somebody helping you. So my question is always, why didn't you get some help? Get some help.
That's what Elise. That's what Lee said. Get a financial advisor. That's the first thing she's gonna do.
Just and listen, there are cases where these people have gotten financial advisors who end up being frauds and take all their money. That happens. But when we get to talking about what we would do if we won, I'll talk more about that later because it's part of my list of the first few things I would do. But anyway, that's you think that's bad. Okay, listen to this one. 5 years after Kentucky resident David Lee Edwards won a $27 million jackpot, he was penniless. 5 years. He was penniless and living in a storage shed with his wife. The couple squandered their fortune on the typical goodies that sink so many lucky winners. They bought dozens of high-end cars, mansions, and a plane. They blew through $3 million in the first 3 months. Did you hear me? 3 million in the first 3 months of winning $27 million.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the first year, $12 million was in the wind. By 2006, the couple had spiraled into drug addiction. That cocaine, man, I'm telling you. In just 12 years after the win changed the course of his life, David Edwards died alone and broke in hospice care at the age of 58. 27 million, Dennis. 27 million. They should have been set for life.
Well, like you said, bad spending habits will do that to you. One of the
But
things that I noticed, one of the things that I have noticed, when I uh notice about people when they get money, like we could just, it's 420 now, but 5 days ago it was just 415, which is the biggest tax day in the world. You understand? Usually it's the last day of taxes. That's how we look at it. We got to do our taxes before the 15th of April,
mm-hmm.
and you see people get that money in February. They get 9,000, $10,000, and they talking big. They broke before March.
It makes no sense to me.
They got an eviction letter in July. Same people. I that's why I sit there and I look at things like that and I'm like, managing money starts with a little bit of money.
It's
Just because you got
supposed
more
to.
money don't mean you know how to manage it. That's why I've learned. I'm so glad I've been broke for a long time. And then when I got some money, I knew how to manage money. That's what I'm glad about. I knew how to manage it. I knew what I was doing because if I got this money in my 20s that I was getting back then, man, I would have been broke. And you'd have been reading about me. We'd have been reading about me. Dennis Holmes went from such and such to down to $10. It's like you've been reading about me.
That
I,
would be so sad.
and it had nothing. And me, it would have had nothing to do with drugs.
No,
That'd have been the bad part. I've just been buying. I just been buying expensive cars. What you need 4 or 5 cars for?
you don't. But it's a want. And most people
That's why
think
I'm using.
when they get that much money, they feel like they are supposed to do these things. This is what you're supposed to do when you get this kind of money. But 3 million in the first 3 months, Dennis.
Yeah, because
Three million.
you just start buying. It becomes. This is what it is, Sharon. It becomes wants over needs, and you want things just because you see.
Yeah, but to the tune of 3 million and 12 million in a year, Dennis. 12. I only
Yeah,
got 20. What was it? 22.19?
27,
27 million. And I'm gonna
27.
spend 12 of it, nearly half, but 12 in the first year.
I know a lady come to me and she was mad at her nephew because he spent 30,000 and I think it was about 5 months. All he had left was about $6,000 because I think he got about like 39 or something like that. But he spent about 30,000 in about 5 6 months. And I sat there and I told her I was like, listen, if you just keep hitting buttons and keep spending, you'll spend $1,000 a day
Oh yeah.
just because you want stuff, not because you need it.
Well, I don't
That's
know.
why I always say it's needs and wants. Do you need that? Yeah, I need to have 3 cars. Why? Why you need 3 cars?
Well,
I can see two, but I
I
don't
can
see
see
three.
two, but I don't see three, four,
See two.
five, and six. I don't see that.
2 cars is all you need. Two.
Well, this to me, there's just no excuse for that. It's just no excuse. I mean, like I said about the other people, they could have gotten some help. When you get that kind of money, you can find good, honest help if you go to the right place. Don't be
Because
relying on these jackleg individual people. You go to a reputable company, or you do what I'm gonna tell you I would do when we get to the end. But anyway, what you got next, Dennis? Who the next one we gonna talk about? What luxury?
I think the next one is in my hometown. I mean, well, my home state. Yes, it is. It is in my home state. Mr. William Budd. I guess Bud. I'm hoping that it's not.
William
Never
Bud,
mind.
not
I
420, but
believe.
William Bud.
That's what I thought. I really thought that. I was sitting there. I was sitting there. I was like, this is a hell of a name to have on this day right here. That's what I was saying to myself. A hell of a name to have on this day. Okay. William Budd Post was broke when he died in 2006. All right. Despite winning $16.2 million in the Pennsylvania lottery in 1988. Hold up. Hold up. I'm leaving it alone.
Eight
It
years.
was. It
That was
was
it.
yes. No. He lived past 8 years. Past eight
Oh,
years.
I'm sorry.
2006 he died.
88. Yeah, to
Yeah.
2006.
It didn't last long. Just 1 year after hitting big, Post was $1 million in debt. Damn. His ex-girlfriend sued him for part of his winnings, and his brother reportedly hired a hitman to kill him, according to the Forbes list. It's crazy. The real problem, however, is his lavish spending. He bought houses, boats, cars, twin engine plane that wasn't even licensed to fly. What the fuck?
That he wasn't
Yeah,
he wasn't licensed to fly. He wasn't. He didn't have a
no,
pilot's
that he
license, but
wasn't.
he bought a plane. See, a twin engine is one of those little small ones. It's probably only got 2 seats in it. So you got to be a pilot to buy that. Otherwise, you might as well get you another type of plane and have a pilot.
I think this one right here.
Stupid.
This is why I say this one is weird. 1988. $20 went a long way in 1988.
He got
I know this,
$16.2 million
but he
in
got 16.2
1988.
million dollars. If he would have just had 200,000, that went a long way in
Right.
1988. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
He got 16.2. Like, that is crazy. How
Well,
did you go? How did you get down to $1 million after a year? Then your brother, see, this is where more money, more problems come in right here. Now
right.
your brother hired a hitman. He's so mad at you. He took your money to go get somebody to kill you.
That's what he did.
That's how
His
mad he is at
own
you
brother.
because you got that money. Before you got that money, he wasn't getting no hitman.
No. This is just crazy to me. You got to watch people.
That's why you don't tell everybody. But
Well, we going to get to that. But I mean, this is really wild to me. And this happened when I was doing my research. I saw people hiring hitmen several times in these scenarios.
right,
Right? But a lot of the time it was a spouse. This is the sibling, your brother. Oh my God.
jealous. Rather see you dead than actually out here living your good life. Why? Because what you go by, all the things that's put the light on you. Look at me. I got a Bentley. I got a Benz. I got a big house on the block. I might get the big house. I might get the big house. But
Yeah,
Bentley
mine
and
would.
Benz,
I wouldn't get the big one right away. It'd be average.
man, Bentley and Benz, I'll wait.
About 3 or 4 thousand square feet. That's all I would get. It's not going to be 8,000, 10,000, 15,000 square feet. No, I'm not. I don't need to do all that. Not in the very beginning.
You get a
Maybe
three-car
later.
garage?
I probably would. Probably have a 3 car garage, but
What
that's
is up
because
with you with the three-car?
I
What
would
is up with
have.
you with the three-car garage?
Well, here's the thing. I'd have 2 cars, so that takes care of the first 2 bays. The other one is for my lawn equipment and stuff, and anything else that I want to put in the garage. Anything, anything I want to
Because
put in there.
I'm just gonna let you know, I'm still stuck on this the three-car garage. I don't know that many people with a three-car garage.
Oh, I know a few people that have a 3 car garage. Mm-hmm.
Even
And
the
as they
richest do
and
that.
let me tell you this too. Um, the way that I see that developers are being allowed to create neighborhoods now, more and more often, they're creating neighborhoods where you can't park on the street, which is the
Right.
dumbest thing I've ever seen. So what people are doing is getting 3 car garages, which means their driveway will be larger and wider, so more people can fit on their driveway since they can't park in the street. Which is, I don't even understand why jurisdictions are allowing developers to do this. I understand why the developers are doing it because that gives them more money. They can squeeze more units in there. So they make the streets so narrow that a fire truck couldn't get down it if the cars are parked on the street. So then they say, well, you can't park on the street. So they can
Then you
get
can't
more
have it. You can't.
homes in the space and get more money. It's all about
Right.
greed.
Right. I get
They
what they're
don't give
doing,
a
but
darn
you
about
can't.
you once you buy the house that they built. They don't care about your life, your quality of life, and you're entertaining people and all that. Or you might
Right.
even have a big family. You might have 5 drivers in your household. Then hell yeah, I need a 3 car garage because 3 of us gonna park in the garage and 2 gonna be on the driveway. And your driveway got to be large enough in case somebody else come over with a car. So yeah, I'd have 3 car drive, 3 car garage, but yeah, I don't need all that big elaborate stuff at first. Will I eventually get it? Yeah, but I got to get some investments and things going first, and they have to be smart ones. Throwing it into a restaurant, that's not it. Not if that's going to be your only investment. That's how you lose your shirt. I'm not trying to do that. Not trying to do that. But anyway, so here's another one, Dennis. This happened in my home state. Now, this one to me is one of the wildest. Okay. It's not the worst I've seen, but this is one of the wildest. Okay. Marie Holmes. Is that your cousin? Marie
No,
Holmes?
no kidding.
You got a cousin named Marie that live in North Carolina?
I ain't
Nah,
getting no money, so she ain't no cousin to me.
no relation to you. But anyway, she won Powerball in 2016 and she got the lump sum of $188 million. Now remember that amount, okay? 188 million. So what did she do with her money? First, she bought her live-in boyfriend, 31-year-old Lamar McDowell, a $250,000 modified Chevrolet Stingray, $100,000 worth of clothes and jewelry, and a $600,000 auto restoration business, along with some other huge high dollar purchases. Restoration business now. So then after that, now you got to know something about her boyfriend. He was a huge drug dealer that had been investigated by the FBI and ATF and everybody else for years. Okay. heroin was a drug of choice. So what did she have to do? She bailed him out of jail. She posted his $12 million bond. 12 million. Now you know he was facing some heavy charges if his bond was $12 million.
So then that's
12
10%.
million.
So it really was 120 million.
This is what I'm saying. She posted the $12 million bond following his arrest for violating a pretrial release agreement for prior heroin related charges. So that was in February 2016, right? And remember, she won 188 million. Okay. She posted his $3 million bond in March on some other charges that he was arrested for.
That's 20 million on this nigga. He got to go.
Right. And then a $6 million bond that August after he was cited during the July drug raid, which means despite her winning all this money and showering him with all this stuff, he was still drug dealing. He
Oh
was
yeah,
still doing it.
it's a thrill. It ain't just about the money. It's a thrill to some
It's a
people.
life. That's a
That's
lifestyle.
why
That's
they
like
got. That's
DNA.
no. I call it a thrill. It's almost like gambling.
I
You
mean,
know, you see people gambling or like people cheating. All of this is a thrill to some people. Like they're just going to keep doing it because nothing else gives them that rush that they was getting before. You ever hear the movie Paid in Full? Yeah, the movie on Paid in Full. You'll see Mitch.
yeah,
Mitch be over
I
there.
hate
He be
that.
talking to Ace, and Mitch be like, "Yeah, I could lead the game, but then I wouldn't feel the same. I want to be like one of them ball playing players, like Bird and Magic. It's the feeling. He was breaking down just the feeling of selling drugs. He always gonna be a drug dealer, no matter what's the
Yeah,
money. And they,
I hated that movie, so I don't remember one single line from it. Don't
oh, that was good.
remember
That
not a
was good
scene,
cinema. That was good
nothing.
cinema. There, it was a good movie. Good
But look, I ain't finished yet. So
movie.
188 million, right? And you see
Right.
how much she done paid already, spent already. Then she paid approximately an additional $1.47 million in bail bondsman fees that she will never get back. Why? When you pay a bail bondsman money and you don't get it back, why don't you ever get it back?
Oh, because they don't go to court.
They don't show up.
Yeah.
1.47, and she's still spending. They still together. I love him.
They was always
So
they.
this,
We used to have this question back in the day. Who's more manipulative? Is it women more manipulative than women? I mean, women more manipulative than men, or men more manipulative than women? I don't know. I'm gonna have to say the men. It's the men.
that's a show for another day.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I actually believe it's women. But we can talk about that.
okay,
In
we gonna
this
talk.
particular
Okay,
in
okay.
this particular case, is him. This is a woman who said that she planned to donate millions of her winnings to her church and set up college funds for her four children, Braden, Charisma, Andrea, and Ebony. Two of those kids were with this dude. They were between the ages of 1 and 7 years old at the time. That's what she was supposed to do with her money. No, she too busy bailing this no good son of a you know what out of jail all the time and dealing with his mess. So now after all of this, I done laid all this out for you, right? And he finally ended up going to prison. I think it was like 7 years, maybe 7 years for this heroin dealing and many other crimes, racketeering and some more stuff. Guess how he's thanking her now? Take a wild guess. Because this is a boyfriend. It's not a husband. Boyfriend. Any
It's
takers? Any
always. It's,
guesses?
I'm gonna say it's always some bull daggle. There's always some bull daggle.
It's some fracanackle. Let me tell you what he did. He's
I mean,
thanking her by suing her from prison. He sued her from prison. That's right. Sued her. And let
What he
me tell
saw?
you what the lawsuit says. Lawsuit says. It says this dude authorized. So the law, the papers say Mr. McDowell, as if he deserves to be called Mr. Fool. But anyway, Mr. McDowell authorized Ms. Holmes to store, maintain, and protect his real and personal property during his incarceration. You know where he got that personal property from? Her. Let me keep reading. The lawsuit states he also claims that although the titles for the Corvette and the business are in Holmes' name, her name, she purchased them all for him. So when they finally ended their relationship in August of 2017, the lawsuit claims that McDowell learned through his friends that she had started dating someone else, gave his clothes away, sold his property, and then shut down the auto restoration business. Right? So they claim that each unauthorized gift, conveyance, or transfer of Mr. McDowell's personal property was without his knowledge or consent and without consideration ceding to Mr. McDowell. Ms. Holmes failed to act openly, fairly, and honestly by secretly giving away the items identified as Mr. McDowell's personal property, the complaint reads. Ms. Holmes' unconditional obligation to act in the best interest of Mr. McDowell didn't stop because Ms. Holmes and Mr. McDowell's relationship ended. The lawsuit continues. This fool was released from prison last year. So he's seeking compensation for the assets he alleges were his, as well as punitive damages, which is damages to punish her. The case is still pending. But this is some frackalnackle bull, Dennis. I just told you all the money that she spent on him. She spent the money for all those items he's claiming is his. But she gave it to him as a gift, but she spent the money. And they're all in her name. They're not even, his name is not on any of it. It's all in her name. And legally, to me, if it's in her name, she has a right to do with it what she wants to do with it. That's how I see it. That's how it is in insurance. What you think about this, Dennis? This lawsuit?
I think Bull just again being very manipulative and getting away with it by any means. By any means.
Don't you think he's got a lot of nerve to be trying to sue her?
Yeah.
The whole idea is behind it is he knows he's going to get out of jail and he didn't have anything. He has nothing. But he didn't have anything when he went in except for what she provided. And he's not going to have anything when he gets out. I don't think it's fair. Do you? Hello?
No, it's not fair at all. If I was, it's not fair to her. Not fair to the kids either. But he don't care about the kids or her. He was worried
Oh.
about himself. Selfish one. You took damn near. I want to say 1/4 of the money.
About that, maybe even more, because I'm sure that the articles that I was reading didn't list every single solitary dollar amount that she spent on. I'm sure of that.
BJ said life ain't fair.
Yeah, but that don't mean you gotta like it.
But he definitely wrong.
That's crazy. Go ahead, go on with the next one. Then we're gonna get to
Yeah, let's get to the
our
next one out the
questions.
way. Okay. Willie Hurt. Willie Hurt won a $3.1 million Michigan Super Lotto jackpot in 1989. This was during the height of the crack epidemic, and Hurt was deeply tangled in the mayhem. His winnings became the fuel of a raging rock cocaine addiction. By 1991, he was broke and going through a divorce. Damn.
Wait a minute. Gets better.
2 years. He was also charged with murdering a woman while on a multi-day drug and alcohol bender. Okay. The
Wow.
Associated Press reported
Yeah.
this is crazy.
This is sad. Isn't it sad?
How
I think
is
he
this
probably
human?
he might have had the crack addiction before. He just got the money to fund it. $3.1 million in 1989 was a lot of money. Again, like that
That's a
16
lot of
million
money.
in 88.
That's
It's
a
it's
hundred
it's a
thousand
lot of
dollars.
money.
A lot of money. Yeah.
And I mean, the crack epidemic of the late 80s was really bad. It was in the early 90s. It was just horrific.
Well, one thing I'm gonna say about that girl that was so in love with that guy and he's suing her for all that stuff. It
Hmm.
doesn't say that she's broke. So that's the one good thing we get out. She ain't broke. She just got a homeless sexual that she funded for 1/4 of her money. And now he want another fourth.
I'll get back to you on that, on the latest. I'll get
Okay.
back to you on
Um,
it. I gotta look it up
um
again, but I'll get back to you
but
on it.
this guy that lost his money in 2 years and his wife and then went up killing somebody. Yeah,
He's
like I
gone.
said,
He's that's his life is over. He done murdered somebody.
yeah,
I'm
I know
telling
somebody
y'all,
that
them
did.
drugs is not. And the day of 420, I'm telling you, and people want to say, weed is cool, weed is cool, ain't nothing wrong with weed. Okay, it's not. It's not until somebody laces it with something you don't know about, and you end up
No,
dead
it's
or
until
murdering
it's,
somebody.
it's until they want something stronger, Sharon. Like they'll
No,
sit there. This is how I'm gonna tell you how it goes with weed smokers. All right, I'm a regular weed smoker. Okay, I smoke weed until I cough. When I cough, they usually got a saying: "You cough, you off." When I cough, I'm high. I'm cool. There's some guy out there. They got to roll blunts and blunts at a time. Then they get mad on me. I don't smoke regular weed no more. I need something strong. Then you see them go strong and strong. Well, we gotta smoke 6 blunts today for me to get high. Next thing you know, they start putting that white girl in there. Next thing you know, they just on white girl. Weed is the cover up for the white girl. All right,
it's a gateway drug. It is, and
right.
people don't like that term, and they try to deny it. Yes, it is, and that's
Now
true.
you
What
got
you
some
said,
people who are strictly on weed. Now I know a lot of people who are strictly on weed,
I
so
got it.
I
I
ain't
got
saying it's
it.
for everybody.
I
Right.
got it, Dennis. I got it, and I agree with you.
Right.
Still telling you, they are putting all kinds of things in this weed that the purchaser does not know is in there, and it's
No,
killing some of them.
it is.
And it's also making them even more addicted. Sometimes it don't finish them off, but it makes them have to get more and more, like you said, and fosters their addiction and can put them in a what do they say, a multi-day drug bender where they go kill somebody. Yes, it can happen from weed. People keep killing me with this. You never hear about anybody killing somebody because they high on weed. That is a lie. I don't. It's like an internet rumor, internet fantasy. I don't understand it. I don't know who started that lie, but it's one of the biggest lies told about marijuana. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about
I
that all
well,
day.
I'm not going to get into who's right and who's wrong at that, but I have seen people
No.
snap out because they haven't had their weed because they haven't had
Oh
their
yeah.
weed.
When they don't
I've
get
seen
their
people snap
weed
out.
fixed, their
Man,
attitude goes on 10. They snapping
yeah.
at everybody, and they end up doing something they'll regret later. But people don't want to talk
Honestly,
about
they
that.
start they start to snap like a diabetic. Honestly,
Yes. Oh, you've
that's
seen
how they start
people.
to snap.
You've seen diabetics do that too. I've seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
diabetics don't get it. they don't get they fix. They diabetics don't get that sugar. They snap out too. I've seen. That's why I said. I'm like, dog. One of my boys snapped out. I thought he was diabetic. I said, dog, you need to get you something to eat.
I'll
Then come
tell
to
you,
find out it was the
that
weed.
sugar drop like that or go too hot, man. So in the comments, y'all, the question that I want y'all to answer is if you hit the lottery for $100 million, what are the first few things you would do? Put your answers in the comments, please. Some of you joined after I said that question. So now we're going to move into that. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about Dennis. You won $10 million. My
I
first
thought I was
question to you, is, would you tell anyone? And if so, who would you tell?
I'm not telling nobody. I'm not telling nobody. Nobody but God.
Why?
I ain't even telling my parents. I ain't telling nobody.
Why not?
Cause then then all of a sudden everybody got their hand out. Just little stuff. It don't even be like I said, don't even be a need. It'd be a want. Oh, my tire ain't working right. You think you give me some new tires? You talking about the same tires you had all the time? Yeah, yeah. For some reason these ain't working. No, the microwave ain't working. You mean the same one you just heat up the food with before when I was broke? That same microwave you just heat the food? Yeah, yeah. I think I just need new. Yo, maybe you should buy it. I thought you should buy a phone. No, no. That's why nobody needs to know. I wait until you like really need something and I'm around you and you really need something. Then I'll just give you. I'll bless you with it. You know what I mean? You said
So,
something like your car broke down for like the third time. All right, dog, you need to go get you a new car.
so how would you keep your lifestyle from changing to the point where they notice it?
I would go invest in other things like real estate and
But
um
won't they know?
no, you don't know who owned people don't know who owned the building across the street from.
I know, I know. I'm just asking the question. I'm not saying I don't agree with you.
Like people live in a part, like I could go buy an apartment complex and live in, but the whole time I can show you a lease agreement from the company I own. Yeah, our lease is mine. You have no idea I own the whole building. You have no idea.
True. That's true. That's facts.
I could be working at a food chain. I could be working at Chick-fil-A. I could own three Chick-fil-A, okay, and be working there in the back as a cook 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You have no idea I own the job. I know everything going on in here.
No, BJ, I said 10 million, not 100 million. Did I say 100
But you
million?
said
No, I
you
did
said
say
100
100
million at
million.
first.
Yeah, I
You said
did say
100 million at
100
first.
million. It is 100 million. Yep. It's 100 million. Yep. Because 10 ain't really nothing now. So 100 million.
100 million. You have no idea who owns what. Don't nobody do no research. Don't nobody do no research on who owns this, who owns that. And then it is now to a point where you could get an LLC that doesn't even come back to your name.
Yes, I know. You can create a holding company that nobody knows is yours.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, they will never know. It would just be checks in the mail. Like I always say, check in the mail.
The biggest example of that I have ever heard of was Michael Jackson. He created not a fake company. He created a company that no one could identify. And that's how he got the Beatles masters. That's how he got them. The whole Beatles catalog.
Okay.
And he did that after Paul McCartney talked all that bull crap and pissed him off. So he said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. He created a company. And when they had the auction, the bids on it, he bid the highest and got it. And it was later that everybody found out that he owns the Beatles catalog. Brilliant.
Terrible. Brilliant, but it's just terrible that you got to go through. And honestly, those are some of the things you got to do because in certain neighborhoods, You just can't go buy things in certain neighborhoods
No.
because that neighborhood can actually politic and get you out of there
Let me
and
tell you
say that they
something.
don't want you. Say they don't want you to buy in there. I'm actually seeing this happen.
Oh yeah, we all have. Yes. Yeah. That's why Bill Cosby went to prison. But that's a whole nother thing. But
Well,
listen,
I I
I
wasn't
know
talking about
that
that. I was talking about like just
I know you
in
weren't. I
regular
know.
neighborhood.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I ain't say that.
But listen to this. I neighborhoods that you're talking about like that, there's always somebody outside. There's always somebody outside in those neighborhoods seeing what's going on. So you have to be careful with what you bring in your house. You see what I'm saying? You can't have Wayfair backing up to your house every 2 or 3 days, putting all this stuff in your house. Because one day you're gonna come home and all that stuff gonna be gone.
Yeah, I ain't. I wouldn't be doing all that either.
See what I'm
Wayfair ain't.
saying? You got to be
See
smart
me.
about
Yeah, I get stuff. I get stuff when everybody else get money. During income tax time. So it make it look like I'm right just one on them. You know what I mean?
it.
Get my stuff in
Mhm.
February. Get my stuff around February and right around Christmas. That's when I get my stuff then.
I remember recently, well, actually several years ago, I got a new job and I won a TV in our training. We had a training contest and I won a TV.
Okay.
I remember before I brought that box in my house, first of all, I waited until it was after like dusk. Now, my place is not a high crime area, but it's an apartment complex and the doors, it's like a close knit apartment complex. I'll just say that. And it's always somebody outside watching. Okay? So I remember I left that thing in my car covered with a quilt. And then when it was close to dusk, I wrapped the quilt around the box and brought it in the house because I didn't want anybody to see that I was bringing in a big ass TV box because it was a big box. It was a big TV. I do that now. A couple years ago, when I got this TV, when I bought this TV from one of our mutual friends, I had Daryl bring that in the house covered up. I didn't want people to know I was bringing a TV in here. You just got to be careful. You got in this day and age. See, back in the day, we didn't worry about stuff like that. That's why it's good to be a Gen Xer. I know a time when you didn't have to worry about people seeing what you bringing in your house. It was just understood people aren't gonna come in your house. It's not like that, and it don't matter what neighborhood you're in now. You can be in well-to-do neighborhood, and somebody will break in and take your stuff.
Yeah, that's why you got to make sure you got that security cam.
You gotta do
You
all
know,
kind of stuff.
you got to have all types of security. You got to have security on the windows, front door, back door.
Hmm.
Inside the house, outside the house. You need to see as they walking by, scoping, and all types of stuff, man. Yeah, that ring camera um actually works for good safety. I'll say that.
Yeah, I love it. It's not through Ring. My sister has one. It's not through Ring. It's by another company, but I love it.
Right.
I love the way that they have an app. You can control everything from the app. You can see
Yeah.
everything going on at your house when you can be 100 million miles away and you can still know what's going on. You can
Right.
have other
Somebody.
people have access to it just in case something happens to you. Somebody else can get an alert to know that you in the house and something done happened to you. They can come in and use their code and get in and yeah, it's all like
I
that.
like that.
I
The
have
pool.
access
I
to
think
all of her stuff and everything. I don't have my alerts, my notifications turned on because I really don't need to go in there until I need to go in there, right? But I can turn that on and off and I can go in there and look as often as I want to look. So if I get a bad feeling and I can't reach her, I can always go in there and look and say, what's going on over there?
right.
I haven't had to do that yet, but
But I like that people can hit a button, come in your house. Cause I'm one of them dudes. I lose my keys sometimes, or I leave my keys in the house a
Yeah,
lot.
you need one of them then, because
Yeah,
you can
I need
actually
to.
push punch in the code and go in the house. No key
Yeah,
necessary.
no key necessary. Exactly.
Mm-mm. But me, I agree with you. I wouldn't tell anybody if I don't have to. And this is what I mean by I don't have to. Most states, you have to identify yourself as the winner. They take a pitch. You've seen the pictures with the big checks and all that. And some states require it to be public record who won. I have no idea why that's a requirement. To me, that's the
I don't need.
weirdest. That's the weirdest thing.
It's like asking a hitman to kill you. I don't
I
understand
don't,
that
I
at
don't,
all.
I don't get it, and I really don't understand. That's something to investigate. Why is that the rule? What benefit? Who does that benefit except for criminals or people who have ill intentions? I wouldn't tell anybody except for the people I have to, which is the lottery commission. And if I'm in one of those states where you have to be public record, I'll just take my chances that nobody would actually look to try to see is who it is and find me. But I'm not gonna run around and just tell anybody. No one. I'm not
I,
gonna tell anybody. And see, I'm
I ain't
good
got
at living. I'm very good at living well below my means. Like you were talking about, you've struggled before, so you know what that's like, and you know how to manage. I'm very good at doing that now. Very good at it.
I
I
know how
could
to live
I
so.
could come into thousands. I'm not a lottery hitter yet, so I'm gonna say thousands. I can come into thousands of dollars right now, and you'll never know. My debt be paid off, but you wouldn't know about it. The debtors would know. The creditors would know, I should say.
The
But
creditors would know. That's
yeah,
who
the
would know.
creditors would
Creditors would know.
know. Hmm.
They'll
All
hit
that
you
stuff
up,
be
but
paid off. All of it.
you would know. And I'll be done investing a lot of properties. That's what I said. I know a couple people who got a lot of properties invested in. They used to do other extracurricular activities, and then they transferred that to being, into the real estate market, and now they got a lot of houses. And if you, and I knew a guy when I want to say about 20 years ago. I knew a guy, older gentleman at the time, old enough to be my grandpa. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
He would walk around with a white beat on and some dirty jeans and some boots he got from Walmart. Okay, and he drove a Ninja Turtle van. I'm gonna be honest with
Okay.
you, Sharon. I'm gonna be honest with you, Sharon. He had to own at least 100 houses,
Hmm.
and
That's
that
how
might
you.
be me
That's how you
losing.
do. You don't have to look like you got money all the time.
No, he didn't look like it. If you was out there and you like, I need some money, I need to rob somebody, he was the last person you was looking at to rob.
Hmm.
But you had no idea he owned over 100 houses.
Yeah. See, I would build up to that. So like $100 million, I would I would have to build up to that. I said 10, but it's really 100. That's what I really want to know about 100 million. So yes, BJ, you were right. He wants me to say he was right. Okay, you were right. It's 100 million. But I tell you, some people just thirsty. They just need their ego stroke, don't they? Don't they need that, Dennis?
It's a Leo. It's a Leo thing. It's a Leo
It's
thing.
yeah,
You know,
I know how
it's a
y'all
Leo thing.
are. Something wrong with y'all. But anyway,
We
it's
like the
Taurus.
stroking of the
We
ego.
going we
We like
Taurus season now. We're going into Taurus season.
the
But
bull
anyway,
daggers.
don't call them that.
That's what I call them, bull daggers.
No, no, no.
I
Anyway,
got
listen.
I got three grandmoms born in Taurus season. No, two. I'm sorry. One of them's a Gemini. One of them's a
I don't have any Tauruses in my immediate family. Got
Gemini.
Taurus friends, not me,
I had
not
an
my
ex
family.
girlfriend that was a Taurus too.
Hmm. Well, for me, no. That's my answer. I would not tell anyone. Now, so the next question for you, Dennis, is: you win this $100 million. What are the first few things you would do? I don't want to put an exact number on it, but just the first few.
I got $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, first few things I'll do. I'll probably go on vacation first. I'm going somewhere to go
Of
relax.
course, of course.
I ain't even gonna make a move. I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm gonna go get on a boat and be on a boat for a good, 12 days or something. Just to figure out what my move is, what's gonna happen. I ain't gonna spend no money, no nothing. Just go on vacation, enjoy myself.
Would you
Be
just take
around some
time
people
off
I
from
do.
work to do that, or would you actually quit your job right away?
No, no, no. I would just take time off work. I wouldn't quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Why?
take a
Tell the
time off
people
work.
why. Tell the people why you would not quit your job once you got that check in your hand.
I'm not quitting my job because I don't want nobody to know I got the money. So I'm gonna keep working
That's
my job just as I'm doing.
mm-hmm,
That's number
mm-hmm,
one. Number two, I
mm-hmm,
probably would try to buy my job.
mm. That's another
That's
thought.
another thing I'm trying. Either we will become partners or I will just buy them out. One or the other.
Hmm. Okay. What else would you do?
Uh, let me see. What was another thing I did? I probably end up buying a school. $100 million. I probably buy a school.
What do you mean buy a school?
Yeah, I'll start my own school.
Oh, start a school. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't clicking. What would you name it?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know what I'll name it. But the hardest thing for me probably first is trying to purchase the school and to get a curriculum to go in together. That'll probably be the two hardest things for me to do. Naming it, that might all come together later. Get a
Mm-hmm.
curriculum going, actually get some, teachers and principals, staff that I can honestly say I believe in.
All right. Next.
I think that's about it. Give me a house and a car. That's about it. But the house I probably wait for because I want mine built up from the ground up. So I probably wait for the house.
You just stay where you at right now for a while.
Stay right where I'm at.
You wouldn't just go get an apartment or something?
Nope.
Okay.
I want you to ride by and see me.
What kind of car would you get?
Nothing fancy. I'll probably get a Tesla. Probably get a Tesla.
That's fancy. What are you talking about? Do you know
Not
how much
really, because
Tesla? Do you know how much Teslas cost?
all the Uber drivers got Tesla.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, but it ain't gonna look fancy. It's just gonna look like I drive Uber.
Okay, Dennis. Whatever you say. I'm just gonna go by what you say. I think you're wrong, but that's fine.
Just letting you know.
I mean,
Get a Tesla.
I've seen an Uber driver in a Tesla, but I don't see 50 of them and they're all Uber drivers. That's what I'm saying. So if you riding around in one, people are not going to automatically think you're an Uber driver. They're going to say, "Oh, he fancy,"
Well,
because
one of
that's
the things that they
what
doing
people
with
say
one of the things that
until you see the sign.
they doing with Uber is they're letting you rent Teslas for I think it was like $700 to $800 a month,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Don't quote me on those numbers, but they're letting you rent Teslas
Mm-hmm.
for something like that. Don't quote me on the numbers though, but
They
you can rent
probably
them.
they probably needed to do that because their sales had slowed because of all the crashes and stuff and other issues with that vehicle. You wouldn't catch me dead in one.
It's all right.
You couldn't even bury me in one. That's how bad I don't want to be in one.
Yeah, give me a Tesla.
In fact, if I called a Uber and they drove up in a Tesla, I'd probably tell them, no, No, keep it moving. I don't even want to ride in one.
They got the Tesla. They got some Ubers now. Ain't even got no driver in it. It's just the Tesla driver.
Yeah, I know. And crashing into
That's,
stuff, killing people too. That's what I'm
I
talking about.
seen. What's my boy name? Used to play for the Blazers back in the day. Uh, man, what is his name? Him and Rasheed Wallace used to be together. I can't. Bonzi Wells. Bonzi Wells was in a Tesla in the back seat with his seatbelt on, holding his seatbelt with no driver in there. That was funny.
That's not funny. See, I see.
That was funny.
After over 20 years in the auto claims business, that is not funny to me. I just can't find any humor in that at all. And I do not trust the technology. It has not been perfected. So no. Well, anyway, all right. So are you ready for me to tell you what I would do?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing that I would do, the very first thing I would do after not telling anybody, I would not quit my job, not right away, because I don't want anybody to get suspicious, just like you. I probably would move to a better apartment for a little while than what I'm in now as I try to plan what else I'm going to do. But the first thing that I would do is I would find out who the financial advisor is for somebody that I know is doing very well with their investments. Somebody that I know and trust that I can talk to and say, hey, this person made this money for you, advised you, and you got this portfolio. Who is this person? So I can, I got some money. I want to start investing a little money. That's what I would do. I would ask somebody that is knowledgeable for advice. I mean, if I could tap into Oprah's advisors, financial advisors, oh, most definitely I want to talk to them. Shaq's, I try to. That's three. There's four people I know I would try to get in their circle on the back end, which will come later, and that's Oprah, Shaq, um, what's his name, Magic, and Michael Jordan. Those four people. I'd have to find out what are you doing, and I would take, I would learn from them, but I wouldn't quit my job right away. It's hard to do all that working 40 hours a week for somebody else, though. So that has to come later. So what I would do right away is keep my job. I would probably buy myself a second vehicle. It would be some run of the mill SUV. It wouldn't be the fancy one yet or anything like that. And I might move into a better apartment. And I would pay off all my debt. And I would start a fund for my grandson. And here's the thing that's going to sound really crazy, but this is what I would do. I would go back to my hometown and find out who owns the house I grew up in. And I would make them an offer that they could not refuse. And I would buy that house back.
Now that's something
That is
I might
so
do,
that
but I
is
gotta buy
in
like.
my family. I would do that. And I mean, that's one of the very first things that I would do. Very first. Because it bothers me to this day that house is no longer in our family. And my parents designed it and built it custom. Their
Sharon.
handprints and thoughts and everything is in that. The marks are still on the wall with my height on it, on the door trim. It's still
I
there.
don't think it's, I don't think
They
it's still
covered
there
it
to
with
this day.
paint, but you can still see the marks.
Oh, you seen pictures of the house?
No, they when mama painted it, you could still see the marks. And the marks are still there. The paint doesn't go away. Unless you change that trim out, unless they've changed the trim out, the marks are still there.
When last time you was there?
On the inside,
Yes, in the
2000,
inside.
2007.
Okay. Ain't bad.
2007. No, I'm
Last
sorry.
time I
That's
was
not right. 2008. I'm sorry. 2008.
last time I was in my mom's house was 2017. Last time I was in my dad's mom's house was 2001.
Well,
That's the last time I was
I
in
would
them
go
two
get my
houses.
house back because that's my house. That's how I look at it. Whenever I
I
go
look at
home,
I feel the same way. I want to buy
when I
both of them
go
houses.
home,
I would I
when I
agree with
go
you on that. I
home,
would buy both of them houses.
I go over there and look at that house. Every time I go home, I'm gonna go take a picture, and I sit
Okay.
out there and look at that house. Like I still can't believe that's not my house. I don't have that house, and so yes, that's one of the
You see
first things I
see
would do.
people come out the house?
Never seen a person. I know someone's
That's
living in it, but I've never seen an actual person. The last time I went home, I talked to one of my neighbors, a guy that crossed the street, who I hadn't seen in a while. He was so glad I stopped by. And I asked him about that. I said, do you know them? He said, yeah, we talk outside every now and then. And they've got some teenagers or something and something he was saying, but they're not like close or anything, but they do see each other outside when they're doing their yards and talk and all that stuff. But he said I remember him telling me he misses my parents a lot because they were tight. But yeah. And so when I go back, many times I've said, when I go back, I'm gonna go to the door and say, look, I just want to come in this house. This was our house. We built it. And I just want to come in and see what they say. But people are crazy now. People crazy now.
write a letter.
I don't even know if I would be safe to go in, and they probably wouldn't feel safe enough to let me in. So I haven't done it. But I swear to God, every time I go home, that's what I want to do.
Write a
I
letter.
never stop thinking about that house. So that's one of the
Write a
things
letter.
that I'm going to do. And everybody has a price.
You sound like
Everybody's
the $1 million man. You sound like the $1 million man right
that's
there.
what I'm saying. And if I got 100, I got 100 million. This is after taxes. I have $100 million. You can't tell me I can't give them a price that they would move on. You can't tell me that I don't have enough money for them to
You got
move
enough money.
in 60 days or 90 days or whatever I say.
That's why I say
No,
write them a letter.
they got a price. They got a price. So anyway, that's what I would do. And so I get some advice. I make them an offer and get my house back. And I start buying property and land. That's what I do. Because land is eternal. You will always have money if you invested in the right property and know how to manage and buy and sell at the right times and all that stuff. You'll never have to worry about money again if you do it right.
If you do it right, that's the whole key to that. You do it right. I would
Put
like to buy those two houses too, but that wouldn't be my immediate purchase. But
oh no no
that'd be
no
in my thought
not
process to
even.
buy those houses.
And look, and I would now the one frivolous thing I would do is I would finally go I would finally go get me a pair of Jordans. I've never owned a pair of Jordans. Never in my
Never
life.
upgrade.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
I would get one pair though. I wouldn't go get a closet full just because I can. But I would get one pair. And it'd probably be the ones.
Something about the ones they just go there. Anything, no.
Just love them. I just like the way they look.
What you gonna
But
get them black
anyway,
and yellow?
no. Red, black, and white. The
Oh,
Chicago
old school.
Bulls edition.
Thought you were gonna get them black and yellow. Wear with the Steelers jersey.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't get that first. Now, eventually I would, but I wouldn't get it first. first I would get the classic Jordan looking Jordans, like he stepped out of them. Those, the ones he wore at the garden. Those. That's what I get. Now, eventually, Lakers and Steelers, I'd have a whole room dedicated to both of them if I had it my way, but that'll come later. But you were talking about a trip, taking a trip somewhere. I guess it's to some island, right?
Yeah, some island. You get the one thing about cruises, you get to go to 3 islands, sometimes 4 islands, sometimes just 2 islands. So, you go there, you enjoy the island, and, it's just a place to relax. Like once you on a cruise, you ain't really got to worry about spending no money on nothing because that all came with the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Get you something to eat, you get something to drink, you got entertainment. You don't want to be entertained. Let's just say you want to be in your room all day. You be in your room all day. You want to be on the internet all day. You on the internet all day. Don't play the game on it. Whatever you want to do, you can do. But this is the time you got to eat. Whether you want to eat out in public or you want them to send it to your room, this is the time you eat.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. I know you love a cruise. You've been to them. You love them. But I
They,
can
they,
get just as much enjoyment on land. I just know I can. I don't have to be out in the ocean to enjoy myself.
I just love it. I love the water. I love it all.
I love the water from the beach. I love the beach. I love the beach.
And I
I
love to go
love
to other places.
the best thing for me to do is either sit out on one of the chairs under an umbrella on the beach and listen to the ocean, or be on a beachfront hotel on the balcony listening and looking at the ocean. Either one works for me. I don't
You
have
ever
to
been
be
on?
out in the water.
You ever been on in the tent
What you
on
mean
the
a tent?
beach? They got like the tent. Instead of you having an
No.
umbrella, they got the whole tent.
No. I haven't been
With the whole
under one
tent.
of those. Nope.
Man, I gotta get
Yeah,
you a tent.
they have the tents that come with this thing where it actually feels like an air conditioner in there. It cools it off. One of my friends has one. She bought one for when she was going to her son's baseball games. And it's a whole tent that has a contraption in it that actually circulates cool air within the tent.
Oh,
Even though
that's
the
cool.
tent is not closed in the front, it's just like this. It has three sides to it. And as you're sitting in there, you're getting cooled while you're sitting in there watching the game. It's wild. They're coming up with all kinds of stuff. Technology is marvelous. I tell you.
And I just you get one of those, and then you get a cooler. Got your cooler out there for your drinks.
Hell
Oh man,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, drinks and
And you
food.
get one of those
Have you feel
wagons,
you on the
that
beach?
you can just pull. You don't have to lift all of that. You get the wagon, but
Yeah.
the
Oh,
big
most of
wagon
it.
that's
Right.
up.
Ain't
Yeah,
nobody.
you
Ain't
put your
nobody too
coolers in
big
there.
for that. I ain't doing
Yeah,
all that.
we ain't carrying. We doing it. We
No.
we we got the
We
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 got the
rolling.
wagon.
We rolling. Yeah,
We rolling right.
we rolling.
So I don't know if I were to take a trip though, it would probably just be to California. I go back to LA. I really, really loved LA when I went in Pasadena.
Yeah.
I love that area. It's really beautiful. And I would probably go visit that. But I always wanted to go to Miami. I told you that. That's your spot. I've never been. And I would go to Miami as well. I try to go to Pittsburgh too, but only when it's warm.
It's sexy in Miami. Very sexy.
I'm sure it is. But I've always wanted to go to Pittsburgh too because I always wanted to go see the stadium. Three Rivers is gone, and I mean not Three Rivers. Yeah, Three Rivers is gone. So it's Acrisure Field now. It ain't even
Oh yeah,
high. I
they took
still
the
call it
catcher down.
Heinz. I still call it Heinz Field. I just don't like Acrisure. I just don't like it. But anyway, it is what it is. But I thought I was going to be able to read what other people would do, but nobody did. Nobody followed my instructions and put it in the comments, so
No, nobody
it
did.
ain't in there.
Yeah. But last but not least, let me tell you about this whole weed day thing that I have. 420. This is how this 420 started.
Oh
So they
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Educate us.
Yeah. So
We
they
listen
say.
to this.
So in the early 1970s, 5 students from San Rafael High School in Martin County, California, would meet up outside after school. Would meet up outside of the school after extracurricular activities had ended for the day for the group. They would they was eventually called Waldos because they always was against the wall smoking weed. But they would meet up every day at exactly 4:20 after all of that. So then, as they got
Oh,
older, right, as they got older and they got jobs and stuff, the 420 thing with them, they start putting on a flyer. Hey, 420 today, we gonna go out and smoke. Start putting flyers out there. Well, in 1991, a reporter from the High Times magazine got a hold of the flyer and printed it and bringing it to attention of the cannabis fans across the state line. The magazine continued to use the term for future publication and solidified it as a place of popularity. That's how 420 went around.
wow. That's how it started.
Yeah,
Wow. See, y'all never know what you're gonna learn when you watch the Side Jawn. We come full of information for y'all. We're just here to help, right, Dennis? We're just here to
that's
help.
it. We just here to help.
Hmm.
We are just here to help.
That's
I
interesting
cannot sit here.
information, though, man.
That is interesting, man. That there's some
Hmm.
guys who just ran the Waldos, as they call them, was just against the wall smoking some reefer at 420. That's all. Then
Wow.
they just went. Because I was always wondering, Sharon, why they don't celebrate 1-5,
Hmm.
2-10, three
Hmm.
15,
Hmm.
5-25, and 6-30. I was always wondering why they don't celebrate none of that.
Right.
It's just strictly 420.
What's the significance of 420? Yeah, I
420.
never,
And now I found
never.
out.
Okay. Now I know another interesting history fact. I'm a history buff. I never knew that. Never even thought
And
about
and
trying to find out.
and I think today is National Beer Day. Am I saying that right?
I can tell you.
Today is
Where is my thing?
National.
You said National Beer Day? Beer, Beer.
Yes. No, National Cold Brew Day and National Record Store Day.
Oh, cold brew. That's coffee.
Yes. So if you like smoking weed, drinking coffee, and listening to music, today is your day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink coffee. I barely smoke reefer. That's like once in the blue for me. But
Well, you already know
music,
I don't do that.
eh, but you drink coffee though, right?
No, I don't drink coffee actually.
Right.
But I have an interesting coffee story. Do you want to hear my interesting coffee story?
Yeah, let's hear it because I remember you used to work at Starbucks.
Yes, and I loved working there. And as a Starbucks employee, when you start at Starbucks, you have to taste all the drinks, including the coffee, tea, all of them. You end up in the training, they have an actual schedule on how the order you taste them in and everything. Because it's based on how they train you, how you learn what you learn to make. And you have to always taste it. So I've tasted all the coffees at Starbucks. And in terms of coffee, they're good. Their coffee is really good. They're especially their combination coffees is what I their mixed coffees. But I just don't like coffee like that. Now, it's not the devil and like you couldn't like if somebody offered me a coffee and I would be like no and that's all they had, I might drink coffee especially if I'm cold. I just have to put a whole lot of stuff in it. But I'm not a coffee drinker, period. When I was a little girl, I used to drink coffee. This is the weirdest thing. I used to go down the street with this old lady, and I would sit and talk to her and drink coffee with her because she just drunk coffee all day long. And so when I would go down there to see Miss White, I would sit with her for hours and just drink coffee with her. I would pour so much sugar and cream in it. It didn't taste like coffee really by the time I drunk it. You know what I mean? So as I got older, I was like, why am I saying I'm drinking coffee when really it's not coffee? I'm drinking sugar milk because that's I'm putting so much in it. So anyway, that's why I stopped really. So okay.
You was drinking heavy cream. That's what you was drinking.
Yes. So I'm a it's a long post that I posted on my Facebook page. I don't know if you saw it. I know some people did. And it's about this local restaurant here. And the guy that owns it, who I know, came out with his own line of coffee. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he came out with this line of coffee several years ago, and now it's in grocery stores. And so
Oh,
yesterday, when I went to the grocery store, I saw it. You know how they have the end cap displays of stuff
yeah.
at the ends of
He
the
made it to the end cap.
yeah, and his was sitting there, right there on
That's what's.
top, right eye level. So that's a premier. Uh,
Is this a? Let me ask you this: Is this a high level grocery store?
it's
What
food.
level of grocery store?
It's Food Lion. It's like a national food. It's Food Lion.
Okay,
Food Lion's up there with Safeway and Kroger and all of that. That's Food Lion.
okay. We ain't
Mhm.
got nothing else. Go ahead.
So yeah, so Win Dixie, all them. But anyway, so I'm looking. I see the coffee, and every time I see his coffee in stores, I just feel really proud of him because I really like the guy. He's a smart businessman, Duke graduate, and he had a dream. And when I first went to his restaurant, it had only been open 2 years, and so as we got to knowing each other at the restaurant, he told me what his, me, I'm gonna ask questions. I'm like, why did you decide to start this type of place? And one of the reasons is because he wanted to emphasize, his love for coffee. That's his thing. He started it mainly for the coffee. The jazz and the good food and everything else came with it. So I'm standing there looking at this coffee, and every time I see it, I think about all the times I went to this place because that place became like the it place for movers and shakers in Durham, and especially for me. Anytime I wanted to do a meeting with somebody, that's where I have them meet me at. If I wanted something good to eat, meet me there. If I wanted to see who's out and about, I would go and just people watch because somebody I know is going to come in there. Somebody I know because everybody was going. And me, I've had some serious health challenges, right? And as I started feeling better and I was able to start going out amongst people again, one of the first places I went is my sister took me to this restaurant. It's called BU Cafe. And when I went in, it's like I never left. I felt the same feeling. So I'm standing there thinking about all this and I'm smiling, looking at this coffee. And I took a picture of the coffee. So this lady walks up and she's like, "What are you looking at? What is that?" And I said, "Oh, this is BU coffee created by BU Cafe." I said, "Have you heard of BU Cafe downtown?" She said, "Oh, I'm not from here." I said, "Oh." She said, "But what is it? Who is it? What is it?" And I started talking to her about it. And then two more people walked up. And then I'm talking to three people about this coffee. The other two people put like 4, 5 bags each in their cart by the time I got done talking to them about this coffee. Now, remember, I don't drink coffee. So I never tasted
Right.
the coffee. Okay. So, but what I'm saying convinced them to buy this coffee. And so the lady I was talking to that first came up first, she didn't put it in her cart while I was standing there. I'm going through the line to leave. I look over at her. She's got the coffee in her bag. She's checking out with this coffee. And she holds the bag up and she says, "I'm going to take this home and I'm going to sit on the porch with my husband and drink coffee with my husband today." She said, "Because this smells so good. I know it's going to be good." And I held up my coffee because I bought a bag of coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee, but I was buying a bag of coffee. And I held mine up and I said, "Well, maybe I'll do the same thing too." And so we laughed. We had that moment, right? I don't have coffee. I don't drink coffee and don't have a husband. but I don't care. I said that, right? So guess why I bought the coffee? I
Why you buy
bought
a
it.
coffee?
Well, I bought it to support him because I think so much of him. And then I realized I had never bought any of his coffee, never bought any. And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy some. I said, but I don't drink coffee. So who could I give it to? So I bought this bag of coffee and I'm going to give it to my sister. I'm going to surprise my sister Sheila with this bag of coffee because she loves coffee.
Oh yeah,
And
give it to
she is gonna love this coffee. It's a special blend or original blend or something. I can't. What's it called? I can tell you what it's called because I wrote it on my. It's called the Heart and Soul Signature Blend.
Okay.
And so on my Facebook page, I have my whole story on what happened and pictures of me holding the coffee and the pictures of the coffee display. So you can read that later. But why am I sharing all that? I'm just sharing it because that's my coffee story. Because you were talking about it being Cold Brew Day. So in celebration
So
of Cold Brew Day, cold brew is a type of tea. I mean, type of coffee. Um, that's my story. Go read my story.
and have a
That's
good
it.
time today, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm going to say. Have a good time today. And for my final words, what I'm going to say is, hey, listen, make sure you take care of your needs when you get some money, not your wants. All right,
Yes. Be
take care of
smart.
your needs. You need to get those bills in the chokehold. That's what you need to do. Okay. Think about. Just want you to think about stuff like that. The bills keep coming. Okay, what's going on in your life? They come. They
Mhm.
come the same time very much. So you just need to get them in a chokehold to where as though it's not a problem.
And
Oh,
especially
yeah, I
when
feel
you
good.
especially when you create new bills,
Don't create no new bill. No,
that's
don't
what they're
create no new
doing.
bill.
They're gonna get credit cards, credit cards
All the
down.
subscriptions. Let me tell you right now, all the subscriptions. You don't need all the subscriptions. Okay, you just listen. I'm at a point right now where I'm at $30 worth of subscription. Okay, that's my cable and that's my Amazon and my Amazon Music. All right, that's the whole Amazon Prime pack. $30 worth of subscriptions a month. That's it. I don't need no more subscription. Anything I miss, I just miss. I don't care. I ain't paying no more bills. I ain't paying no more bills. I ain't
Yeah.
paying no more bills. That's just the point that I'm at in my life. I'm not paying no more bills. Nope. I'm trying to eliminate bills.
So am I.
I'm trying to eliminate them. I
So am
want to
I.
get to the point where I'm not paying rent or mortgage no more. I own the house.
Exactly.
That's the point that I'm trying to get to. I pay a tax on my house every
Right. Property tax.
year. Property tax. That's the point I'm trying to get to.
You want property tax and upkeep. That's what you want.
That's it. All I want.
And
And then
equity.
inequity. Yeah. But I
Hmm.
mean I want to eliminate that bill. And I don't want
Hmm.
you start eliminating when you start eliminating bills, you start to look at things like I got a couple extra dollars. I could do those ones because I eliminated some of these needs because I needed to eliminate these needs to get to my wants. That's all I
Right.
try to tell people.
Right.
Everybody be like, "Oh no, I gotta have me a new car. My car note $800 with the insurance. $800.
I
You
just can't.
sleeping that mother?
I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
You got to
The
sleep with me.
highest car payment I ever had was right around $300. I can't go past that. And that was
I
back in the day when we were when interest rates were like 13%. Yeah, 13%. This was late 80s, early 90s. That's what the interest rates were.
What's the interest rates now?
Hmm, 6, 4, 3, around there, single digits.
Okay. Yeah. I'll I'm cool. I don't want to do no more. I don't want no more
But
bills.
yeah,
That's why I
I
said
agree
these
with
bills.
you. You're right. Get your needs and wants in order. Make sure you need to first. You got to identify what they are and know the difference.
Right.
Some people think a want is a need. I hear it all the time.
Yeah,
And I'm like, that's you don't need that. You just want that. You're tired of this, so you want to get that. That's
yeah,
not necessarily a need.
not a need. Because if you didn't
Mm-mm.
have that money, would you want that?
Exactly.
Eliminate them bills. Eliminate them bills. Less bills you got, better you're gonna be off. That's what you do.
Oh,
What's your final
say,
thought?
last thing I'm
Yeah.
gonna say too. Do you remember Mandisa from American Idol?
No, I
She
wasn't a
was
heavy
on
American Idol guy.
she was on one of the seasons of American Idol. Her name is Mandisa. She became a gospel singer. They found her dead yesterday.
Wow.
So rest in peace, Mandisa, and my condolences go out to her family. I just learned about that this morning.
Yeah, that's
And they
sad.
don't know why. The police are investigating because they don't know why. Investigation is ongoing. Mm, yeah. You never know when your
Well, with that
time
being
is
said, we'll give a rest in peace and to everybody out there that's came to see us and follow us and tuned in. We'd like to say thank y'all.
Thank you.
God bless and great day.